back, everybody, to another episode of the Movie Social. We are your hosts, Ricky and Stefan.
What's up, man?
Today's episode, it's not a review of a movie, but it's a culmination of honoring this man's life. We normally, for Black Excellence, do two people, one male, one female Black actor and actress, and it's normally released midweek. But this one we're doing and releasing the same day after the events of yesterday, finding the tragic death of Chadwick Boseman, which was very sad and touching life. But finding out not only that he died, but died from colon cancer and had it, for knowing about it for 4 years and acting still, playing major roles in pictures that we've all liked and loved, including Black Panther, playing the role of the detective in 21 Bridges, playing in half the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies of the last few years.
A prominent role in our civil rights, Thurgood Marshall.
Yep. He's played also Jackie Robinson. He's played James Brown.
Yeah, which was a great movie as well.
He's played in a lot of movies. He's, of course, had roles for Saturday Night Live. He's had appearances in a whole bunch of other shows, talk shows. He's touched a lot of people. And then find out he even went to St. Jude's to help cheer up cancer-ridden kids while having cancer himself. It's crazy.
It really is. Like, yesterday when I found out, I wasn't taken aback at first, because the reason why I wasn't taken aback at first is because I seen it on somebody posted in one of my Discord servers that I'm a part of, and I was like, whatever, because you can't believe everything you read on the internet. We all know that. But then, for myself, what I did was I just Googled it, and then when I seen the 10 sources, and then I scrolled down a little bit more and seen that his family posted on his Twitter account, that's when it hit me. And it was just like, yo, this is crazy. Like, we were looking forward to Black Panther 2. We were looking forward to just, because he was definitely he was on our list to do Black Excellence, of course.
I was saving it for our birthday weekend, since we shared the same birthday. Would have waited till November, holiday weekend and all, but
yeah,
looks like we have to do it now.
And then I had to text Rick, and then I was like, yo, did you hear the news? And then when he didn't respond back fast enough, I was like, listen, I gotta call somebody, because it was sad, man. Like, these kids nowadays in our community don't have many people to look up to, and to see him play a king in a role that's a superhero that's protecting people from bad guys, like, that really did something to them, man. That was one of the greatest movies in our generation that showed that, listen, this is legit Black excellence. Definitely. And for him to do his own, his stunts and the acting and the weight gain and the muscle gain and losing weights to basically be in other roles, and then gaining that weight back to be back with the Marvel Universe. That right there shows me that you can put your mind, if you really want to anything. For someone to have cancer at the stage that he found out that he had it, and to persevere and to continue on what he loved, it's just it's inspiring, man. And it's sad that he left us way too soon, because he had a lot left in the tank as far as all his work. I mean, like we said, we were looking forward to the news for Black Panther 2, because the first one just was awesome. And with COVID going on, we were just like, listen, we understand we have to wait a little bit longer, but we're ready. Whenever you got the information for us, we're ready for it. And it's just sad, because we're not gonna know what else he had in the works.
Now, I do know there was another film that he did already finish production on, which to me is still outstanding and astonishing, given the nature that he already had progressed to stage 4 and still had another film done. I know he's supposed to have been in the What If series for Disney Plus. I don't know if he's filmed that scene or not yet. But it's really gonna be a tough time adjusting to this, especially knowing, again, like the kids have all looked up to Black Panther. I know my daughter, not even being 2 years old when watching it. Well, I'm sorry, not even being 3 years old yet, watching it, and that being one of her favorite movies. I think we went to see it about 3 or 4 times.
And she dressed up as that like for Halloween, right?
Yep, she even dressed up as Black Panther for Halloween. I even have the shirt and the sneakers. It's been a crazy time for this year of 2020, and then this just adds to it even worse because you lose somebody that was a major idol and image of the Black community on screen, and being able to play a role and take it and make it believable and make you feel it. It's not something that every actor and actress can do, but he was able to do it. Even going back to last year with 21 Bridges, the role of being that kind of detective was phenomenal. Not trying to be dirty, being what a example of a good cop in this world needs to be.
Agreed, man.
Not trying to be crooked, but expose the crooked cops while protecting the people that were supposedly the criminals. Not so quick to judge and rush and try to shoot first, but to try to help and understand everything going around. He played the role phenomenally. Everything he's been in has been excellent. You got nothing but the best from him.
Agreed, man. It's gonna suck being the industry's without him, man.
Honestly, we gotta acknowledge Denzel Washington for his role that he played in his career by paying for those acting classes for him, not knowing who he was, not knowing what he would become, and then them being later down the line actually meeting finally and being able to actually thank him. Like, you don't really look at how things happen and the course people are on and the paths that they cross, but we tend to always do this, honoring those once they're dead, but we need to continue to do of honoring them while they're alive, because we don't know when everyone is going to go. But one thing I will say, he's an example of doing what you love and doing it now, and not waiting and putting those things off for later, because you never know when later is going to happen. You don't know if you're going to have a later, so you have to do it now.
He's also Black excellence personified.
Definitely.
Like, we do these Black excellence because we personally feel like Black people, black actors and actresses, directors, screenwriters don't get enough credit. And he was literally one of the best at the top of his game. And we just felt as though, he was something that we, in our community, in our lives, someone who was there to entertain and bring history. Because if you think about it, just about I'm going to say half of his predominant roles were history. In Jackie Robinson and Get On Up and Thurgood Marshall. Those are history. Black Panther. When was the first? That was the first Marvel black like major superhero. Not discounting Blade, but as far as being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Listen, that movie broke records.
It's one of the top selling movies of all time worldwide.
It's just,
it actually was the number one Marvel movie until Endgame, and
that says a lot, bro. That says a lot. It was better than Iron Man. It was higher than Iron Man, Thor. You can count Spider-Man's. All of those. Every movie that was in the MCU.
It's still in the. If I'm not mistaken, it's still in the top 5 worldwide and domestic.
And listen, that just shows you how awesome the movie was. And you have your haters who be like, "Oh, it wasn't that great." Whatever, man. Listen, you're entitled to your opinion, but numbers don't lie, man.
Definitely don't. And the acting and the career, it actually put other actors on a bigger pedestal and a bigger map because of that film.
Agreed.
And honestly, if you don't have the leads playing those roles, I don't think you have that movie. And I'm going to going in a little bit further into things, because we all are going to eventually start wondering what happens now. what happens to Black Panther 2. Personally, in my opinion, do not recast the role. Do not replace the role. I'm hoping that they get approval to use his image to do it as a digital edit to have his role and complete the journey on there and pass the torch to either Shuri or whoever based off in the comics to the next person and send them off in a good way and not just have somebody else play that part because it's not going to be the same.
No, it's not going to be the same at all. Like what he did for the Black Panther franchise, you can say, I'm trying to think, what Hugh Jackman did for Wolverine.
Definitely.
You are not going to ever see another Black Panther again and look at him the same. Nope. Due to the simple fact that you know that Chadwick Boseman brought King T'Challa to life. The iconic scenes, these iconic lines.
Definitely.
There is not going to be another person that can match that intensity out there. I believe. I wholeheartedly believe there's no one that will be able to do King T'Challa as well as he did. And if they see it, and I hate to say a boycott, but if they try to, I don't think personally I'm going to watch it.
I'll be done with Marvel
because
at that point.
He killed that role, and that role was his. And I don't think Ryan Coogler, if I believe, is the director. Mm-hmm. I don't think he will let anyone else.
I think he might leave it if they try to force it upon him.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I just don't think that he will allow someone else to be in. I don't want to see anyone else. But put the character to rest.
Yeah. As
far as him being it, do another spin, like have, because in the comics, Shuri did indeed become
just like Iron Man. They had to pass the torch. Yeah, eventually they were going to have to pass the torch, but
this is due to other circumstances. And I mean, at this point, you have time to do it because no one was expecting Black Panther 2 to come out anytime soon. You have time. But at this point, it's not even at the forefront of everyone's mind. But when you do get there, do it right, please. I beg you.
Let's take a look at a lot of the things that came out of Black Panther. First, you had everybody with the handshakes, the cross, all of that culminated from there. And of course, the Wakanda Forever moments. All of these type of things generated from that one movie. It had people all around the world talking about it.
Like not only him, like the whole cast in itself.
Yes, for a black film.
The High Auntie or the Hey Auntie from Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, and then also about them stealing the things. How did you think your ancestors got it?
Yeah.
Like, that whole movie was phenomenal. It was the first, if you ask me, one of the first movies that was a global phenomenon of a black cast. Predominantly black cast, black director. It just set a whole precedence for the black community.
Black album make the whole album was dope. Black Panther album was beautiful, man.
Kendrick Lamar's album and in the Oscars that it won. Yes, it did get snubbed on Best Picture. It got snubbed on another Oscar, but it took home multiple Oscars and set a new era in the Oscars, being first, I believe, for costume director and a few other roles. But you don't have all that without Chadwick Boseman, because who else would you get to play that role? I honestly don't know who would play that role ever. And then we can even go back before then with Jackie Robinson, the way he played Jackie during that time. With I'm not gonna lie, watching that I was getting angry. My blood was boiling how they were treating Jackie. He brought that character to life.
Same with James Brown, man. Like I didn't know how dope James Brown was until I actually watched Growing Up, man. And it was because James Brown wasn't in my era of music or my era of entertainment. But when I watched it, I was like, yo, James Brown was pretty dope, and his music touched people all across the world. And for him to bring a character that I knew nothing about to life and like to show me how he was. And such a good thing.
And the way he carried himself for James Brown was phenomenal. Because you look at him playing Jackie, then James Brown, then playing other roles, and then, of course, Black Panther. These are all completely different roles, and he excelled at those roles. It wasn't like, okay, how you get some actors, they take these different roles, but it seems like it's the same role all over again.
Yeah.
These were all felt to be different roles, and he played it that way. Even playing as Starman Norman for the brief parts he was in for the Five Bloods. Phenomenal job. And then another Netflix movie that was more of a hidden gem, if you ask me, because I don't know how many people really even know about this movie still. Message from the King was phenomenal. Like, you really look back at his career and it was just impressive. Because you have some that they do a movie and then fall off and then come back up and then fall off. But every movie he did, honestly, I can't think of any that weren't great or weren't hits.
And what's iconic, man, like now I'm thinking about just over his career and his life, something just hit me and just thinking about it, right? Mm-hmm. He said something in the movie in Black Panther. He said, "I did not yield." To me, with him playing that role and how strong he said it, maybe he was talking about what was going on in his life, and we didn't know. Maybe he did not yield to it until it just grasped him and couldn't really fight back no more. But the fact that 2020 has been doing, like, kicking our behinds, man, with everything that's going on, and to lose such someone of great talent and great, as great a person as he was, so soon, it just sucks, man. It really does. It really does suck.
And then being able to do everything and put all that on your shoulders and carry on like nothing is wrong, that takes a lot, because cancer is no joke.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of people with the treatments, the surgeries, all of that, and no one really noticing or knowing any of that was crazy. But I will say this, especially for a lot of men, we have to get tested. The earlier you get tested, the better. You're supposed to get tested every year for colon cancer. And a lot of us, I'm going to be honest, don't. I believe from 30 on up, they test you. So you need to get tested, go get tested. You need to make sure your health is taken first.
Agreed, man. Like, I just hit 30, and I'm going to look into it myself, man. Mm-hmm. I want to be around for my family and my friends for a long time, and I'm definitely going to research it, and
all I can say is we can't take no more losses in 2020. This is too much,
bruh. We in the third quarter right now, and it's 500 to nothing. We tapping out, bruh.
Like, this one hit to the point. It's too much. Losing both Black Mamba and the Black Panther in the same year is a lot. Dealing with everything else going on with all the race issues, and that brings me to another point. Not a lot of people probably even know how much he was fighting for equality against all of these inequality moments, police brutality, all that. The donations that he does for different organizations. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, especially given the fact of all he's going through and dealing with, and he still finds time to do a lot for everyone else. Like, that's the embodiment of what a true Black king is supposed to be.
Facts.
It's nothing more I can say on that.
Not at all, man.
But
I totally agree with you.
I will say, I hope we do get a biopic for his career and life, because honestly, I think it's warranted and it's deserving. It needs to be, and it needs to be done right and on the big screen. Not none of that Lifetime TV garbage, but a true biopic.
No BET either, man.
No, none of that. I want this. This has to be done right. Honestly, maybe Jordan Peele, Brian Coolidge. Damn, I can't think of her name. How to Get Away with Murder, director and creator, Shonda Rhimes. We do need the Black community to make it, definitely. But
Agreed.
I know it's a sad time, a sad moment for everybody, but we can get through it together. Let us know, what was your favorite role that Chadwick Boseman has played and why in the comments below. And until next time, everybody.